Close your eyes and step into 2036 with me. In one version, 2036 is filled with sunshine, and buildings are powered solely by renewable energy. The streets are lined not only by street lamps, but also trees, as society has realized that nature isn't merely decoration, but it's survival. Cars glide down these streets with ease, and perhaps can even fly at this point, with less accidents happening each and every year. Pollution, it's not something needed to be worried about. It's instead taught in history class, not something constantly breathed in by our citizens. But in another version, 2036 is filled with hazy skies, heavier air, and life's fading. Ice glaciers melt, causing Arctic animals to be stranded in the open waters. Storms are hitting harder with each and every passing year. People follow the news more closely now, but not out of curiosity, out of fear of what's going to happen next, fear of the future. Two very different futures, two possibilities. Both are realistic and both only 10 years away. And already, you can feel it. It's so possible, it's almost reality. But let's start with the brighter version. What would the world look like if we actually did things right? Well, imagine this. You're walking through a city where renewable energy is the norm. Solar panels are built not only onto rooftops, but onto practically everything to make sure that we're using full capacity of our resources, rather than picking an energy source that will harm us in 10 years' time. Healthcare uses personalized data to predict issues, rather than waiting for the problems to incline into real emergencies. Climate solutions actually work and are easy to build into everyone's lives. Oceans begin to stop crying for the help that they so desperately need. They're starting to heal. Endangered species are making comebacks, and communities are safer, more connected, and most importantly, they're more supported. The future, it's hopeful. Not perfect, but it's hopeful. And most importantly, this is possible. But now we have to look at the darker version. In 2036, climate change moves faster than we can to stop it. Heat waves have become the norm, and the weather is rarely predictable. Some places flood, whereas others dry out. There's no balance, no place where the water level is just right or just enough. And somewhere, someone is still complaining about their Wi-Fi being slow. Well, some people feel hopeful because they remember a time just 10 years ago when the world was much safer, cleaner, and wealthier. Others remember that time as well, but see, there's no chance of getting back to that. No way. Hope is thinning. Confidence is fading. And patience is nearly non-existent. Technology is certainly advanced. That's inevitable. But there are few that can afford it with the economic struggles growing. Some countries rise up to the challenge, as others are falling behind. Some countries are arguing now more than ever, overwhelmed by the stress and the uncertainty. The future, it isn't far away. And the uncomfortable truth is this. Nothing can really prevent or determine these outcomes except for the choices that we make today. So why do both possibilities feel so real? Like it can be seen, like it's right there staring back at us, laughing at us, and mocking us. Well, maybe it's because both futures come from a world that we already live in. Nothing in either of the scenarios is something I made up or something fake. Each and every example exists right now that can easily progress for better, for worse. We see innovation in inequality. We see climate action and climate crisis. We see connection and division. We see life and death. And although this may seem a little bit dramatic, the seeds that are planted in 2026 can drastically change the outcome of the not so distant future. You know, one winter in Ontario barely felt like winter at all to me. Snow arrived late, melted quickly, and the cold never truly settled in the way that it once used to. At first, it seemed harmless, convenient even. No shoveling, no frozen eyelashes, no icy sidewalks. It seemed better, and people adapted quickly, too quickly for my liking, changing expectations without question, as if this version of winter had always been normal. But Did any of us start to question if it was normal? Or did we just accept it simply because it was easier? No alarms went off, nobody panicked, life just continued as usual. And that quiet acceptance is exactly what showed me how easily humans adjust to change, even when that change isn't necessarily a good one. That was the moment that the future stopped feeling so distant and started to feel uncomfortably close. Moments like this make it easier for us to see how two very different versions of 2036 sprout from a world that we already live in. So, at the moment, the future, it's uncertain. It's not guaranteed, it's not predictable, and it's not locked in. And although that may be perceived as feeling frightened of the future, it's meant to show something else. The future is open to suggestions. 2036 isn't a pre-taken picture or a fixed destination, but it's merely a sketch, one that can be erased and redrawn with each and every choice that we make today. It's just a date on a calendar that will be here in less than 10 years. And yes, that uncertainty can feel uncomfortable. I feel it too. But it also gives us the power, the chance to rise above that feeling and tackle it before it consumes us whole. If everything in the world were certain, then nothing we ever did would matter. We would have no impact. But because everything is uncertain, the future is uncertain, every single action counts. So, how do we respond to this uncertainty? Well, I can think of three things personally. We have to stay aware, flexible, and we have to stay involved. Because if we don't understand what's going on in our communities, or if we're unwilling to go out of our comfort zones, then we lose the chance to form the future that we want. Us as humans, I like to say that we have a certain responsibility. A responsibility to confront our past problems created by some of our great ideas. The best way to move forward is to stay hopeful, yet realistic. Hope has the power to fuel action, whereas realism keeps us grounded. Together with hope is the lantern and reality is the map, we can walk in the dark without getting lost. When putting these two futures side by side, one thing should become crystal clear. Neither future is guaranteed, but then again, neither is impossible. So when someone asks you, hey, what do you think 2036 will be like? Or what do you think the future will look like in 10 years? Don't give predictions. Don't give false hope of a future that's not written in permanent ink. Show the beautiful possibilities. Paint them a picture of sea animals being free and happy in open waters, or a city that's powered by clean and sustainable energy that can last for generations. We can't say for certain which future we'll step into. That's impossible. And that's because the story isn't finished yet. 2036, it's shaped by the problems we face, the choices we make, and the values that we carry forward into each and every day. The pen, it's still in our hands, uncapped. Ready? And the notebook, titled 10 Years from Now, still open. That's because the future isn't written for us, it's written by us. And 2026, 10 years from now, it's not going to be waiting for us to arrive. 2036 is going to be waiting for us to decide who we want to be. Thank you.